In this lesson, I will explain to you about active processing. So far we have discussed static processing. Here I have written that active processing or sketches start up and then keep on running and running, repeating the program and making changes until we press stop. Now, what is the meaning of this, right? So for active processing, I will again explain you with the help of few examples. But here, just keep in mind that active processing keep running and running. So for active processing, whenever you will see that you have to make some programming, active programming, so you have to write down two computer code, which are called the fundamental regions. So the first region is called the setup region and second is called the draw region. So now what is the difference between the setup region and the draw region, right? The code that runs once at the beginning of the program, like a static program, you have to write down in the static region. Suppose you want to write down the function or command for a line. So just like suppose our line should start from origin and it should touch to the end. So you have to write down like this. If we will run this function, you will see only one line. This is the static function. So whatever we will write down in the setup region, it will run only one time, just like the static processing. In the draw region, whatever we will write down in the draw region, the code will run over and over and over again, and the code usually runs 60 times per second, or you can say 60 hertz per second. Now the question is how we can write down these two fundamental regions or the block of codes. So I will show you here that in this is the active sketch and this is the static sketch which we have discussed. First I will show you, see suppose I have made this function that canvas size should be 600 by 600 and this is the line, right? When I will run this function here, okay, I will say no here. So when I will run this, so see this is the static. You will see line only one time. It will start from 200, 200 and see this is the line. But here I have used the word random. It means when I will run it again, you will see a line, but it will be in the different position like this. If you will again run one more time, you will see a line, but the position of the line will be different. Right, this is the static. Now we are in active processing, means our line should run and run and run. So you have to write down active sketch. So in active sketch, as I have told you, you have to write down two fundamental region. One is called the void setup, right? And then how you will write down, I will show you here, void setup, right? And then you have to make this blank parenthesis. Whatever function you have to write in void setup area, you have to write down between these two curly braces, right? Here I say one time. As I have told you that whatever we will write down here, it will run only one time. Just like size, if you want to increase the size of your canvas, you have to write down in void setup area because it will run only one time. And see now why, what is the purpose of this void setup and then blank parenthesis, right? This just like the line or rect, right? If I will write down rect will take 4 parameters. Where it should start, suppose this is the rectangle. But for the setup, it does not take any parameter. Rectangle, triangle, line, they needs parameter. You have to write down something between these two parentheses, right? And they will generate something for you. But this setup block does not generate anything for you because these parameter, they do not want any parameter. That is why we will write down void. Void means empty, nothing. It will not generate anything. Same thing I have written here. Void means empty or nothing. means the block does not generate any data for others to use. That is why we are writing void here. The empty brackets, these one, means that the block does not require data when it is started. For the line function, rect function, ellipse function, yes, we need. But for the void setup, we do not want anything between these two parentheses. That is why you have to write down void in front of it. So whatever you have to write down here, it will run once. Now in void draw, you have to write down in this, in void draw area, in this part. It will run again and again and again until we stop it. So this is called the active sketch. Whenever you will see any programming related to active sketch, it means you have to write down these two blocks, void setup and void draw. And whatever function you will write, you have to write down between these curly braces. Now move on to the next slide and I will show you with the help of example. This is the static and this is the active, right? So same, see, void setup, both are same. Then we have this braces, then we have this medium or curly braces. Size, we have size here, we have size here. Everything is same except this line. This line function I have written in the void setup area, and the same line I have written here in the void draw area. So first I will run this for you and see, I will show you the difference between these two. So see, as I have told you that whatever you will write in this area, void setup, it will run only one time. That is why you will see line here, right? But if the same line we will write down in the void area, void draw area, it will run again and again 60 times per second. So now I will copy this function and I will run for you. So you will see, I will, okay. So when it will run, see, it will start from 200 and 200 because the line first two X and Y is there, and then the system is generating random lines. This is the active processing. So see now what is the difference? Here I have written the same line function, but I have written in the void setup area, so it will run only one time. But if the same thing you will write down in the void area, it will run again and again. But keep in mind, here we have written random. Random means the system will generate by itself. Okay, now move on to the next example. Here the same thing, void setup area, we want to make an active sketch. So here void draw, so ellipse 200. If I will write down this ellipse function, this function in void setup area, you will see ellipse only one time. But if I will write down this line in the draw area, so see what will happen, I will show you. I will just copy this function for you. And when I will run it, so you will see my ellipses. So at 200 and 200 and randomly, it is moving 60 frames per second. So I will show you in the next few videos how you can decrease the frame rate, sorry. Because these are by default, it will run 60 hertz per second. So you can increase or decrease the frame rate as well. We will discuss later on. So meanwhile, practice it. If you have any question, you can ask me. Subscribe to my channel and thanks for watching.